Hi, my name is Marina Pullen, and I'm the managing director and founder of the Jungle. Welcome to no, not the Jungle. Welcome to my kitchen. No, seriously, welcome to my kitchen, and allowing me to tell you a little bit about us, what we stand for, and what this whole thing about Jungle community is all about. Now, to do that, I need to share with you my own professional story that led us to being here right now, talking to each other on YouTube. So the Jungle started a long time ago. It started back, sort of the early 2000s or thereabout, probably a bit later than that, where I was a management consultant, complete with the blue suit, white shirt, pearl earrings, the costume. And I was deeply in love with my profession. Loved it. Had a few dabbles at other things, but when I got into that level of management consulting, I just threw myself right into it. And I loved it. I skilled up, trained myself, finished my masters, everything I could to be great at my job. And I was. And for a period of time there, I was rewarded with promotions, with bonuses, picked up a few awards along the way, and I absolutely loved it. And I found myself in the privileged area of consulting, which is re-engineering, which is like close to restructuring, where a client or an organization trusts either an individual or group of people to help shape and adjust their business for the betterment of shareholders, clients, and staff. Something in that order. That's sort of roughly the order that we worked on too. And it was amazing. I loved it. And I ended up working on some huge accounts, really challenging, complex projects as well. But it was during that time that all the rosiness started to disappear and the true essence of what professional services started to crystallize for me. And I got to tell you, it was a bit dystopian. Because on one hand, we had this group of clients who were hungry for what they called innovation, but really what they were trying to do is just be market relevant. They were trying to transform these big conglomerates to make them more attractive to clients who would then spend money with them and make it basic. On the other hand, there were this bunch of people out there who, like myself, loved problem solving, were really sort of committed to their careers, and they wanted to be able to partner up and go, yeah, this will be amazing. Like, we're going to change something. I was one of them. I was totally one of them. I was like, yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then what happened though is that throughout my journey of professional services, I found there was this sort of weird friction between both parties coming together. And it's the vacuum between clients and skilled freelancers or individuals that would absolutely perplex me, that everyone was sort of ignoring it. And it was in this sort of weird bit in the middle that there were body shops. I worked for a body shop. I'm not going to dress it up. Yeah, it was global and, it was fancy and all that type of stuff. But it was a body shop where we would hire people over in India in particular for like $6 an hour. And they would take the job because they needed the $6 an hour. And we would sell them to Australian banks for $150 an hour and tell them because they sat under our brand, it was going to be a great deal. Yeah, no, it was weird. But it was also in this area that we saw recruiters, we saw consulting firms. Everyone knows the partner model. They take a click fee for your production value, how many billable hours you have. And I think for me, the beauty of professional services and the true integrity and the nobility of it, if I could call it that, started to get pretty challenged. And it was weird. It was weird. Like you had supply, demand, everyone wanted to work together. There was a weird bit in the middle where people were essentially making money. They were making money, lots of money. In some cases, 30 and 40% of the fees of the individual. Well, unless you're overseas, it was actually more than that. But it was also in this area that we started to see the complexity of the Australian workforce start to kick in, where people just didn't have the freedom to do things. They were afraid of HR, or you couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And to be a great consultant or to have a vision for the future, you actually do need a bit of freedom. You need freedom to think properly, to think through problems. Whether that's a graphic designer or a financial model or a strategist or whatever it is, you need a bit of freedom on it. So for me, I started to really doubt the whole thing around this model of professional services. And I doubted it to the point I actually left for a little while. I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. Oh. And my heart, I'll be honest, my heart was broken. I'd had put professional services and the value we delivered to clients on such a pedestal. It was destined to fall off, let's be honest, folks. But it really broke my heart when I realized how unethical that bit in the middle was. And there didn't seem to be an alternate way either to be able to connect without having to go through this sort of weird quagmire. I wanted to dance with my client like, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, not to sort of be stuck in some inertia which is, held back. And so I left. I invented a few things. I sold some stuff to Walgreens randomly, did a few other bits and pieces, but my heart was still over in professional services and the power of people and the differences that we could make. Now, during this time, there was this weird little company that started to emerge. You might know it. It's called Airbnb. And there's another company like it, Uber, and there are lots that started to pop up. Etsy was another one. These really dynamic workplaces and marketplaces online that sort of got rid of all of that kludge in the middle and created a direct opening between a buyer and a seller. And I was hooked. I was like, wow, this is sort of cool. And it was in that sort of, feeling a bit flat about professional services, deciding I really didn't want to go into invention and all the other stuff I was doing. But I started to see an opportunity to create a community, just like Airbnb, that was filled with great people. And instead of having individuals in between brokering the relationships, we would create a digital platform to do that. And that's what we set about, and we did. Clearly, my life wasn't complicated enough, so I went, yeah, let's fund it. And I'm really proud of the fact I funded this, everything, privately, all of it. There's no Russian money behind us. It's just us who did it. And we did this with an Australian tech team, because the other part I felt really passionate about was building a digital platform that would support the human connection. There's something that could be trusted and something that could be reliable, something that wasn't going to get hacked, something that wasn't going to be, make it difficult for people. And no one ever gets it perfect, right? Never, ever do we get it perfect. But that's what I wanted to do. So we started to build a platform literally from scratch. The Jungle platform, this is the third iteration of it. I can't tell you the pain professionally when you actually look at something that you and your team have built and you have to make a decision. You go, it's not good enough. It's not secure enough. It's not all of these things that we have in our head. And we had to shelve it. Yeah, we shelved the whole thing. So not once, not twice, 3 times. All the money that went with it. But I'm glad we did it. I'm sort of almost glad weekly that we did it. Because now we have this great digital platform that connects all those people with all these people over here without the grey mist in between. There's nothing else there. It's just a direct, honest connection. And the team, who I feel genuinely privileged, that's not some sort of false, humble brag BS. I feel really lucky that the people I've met along the way who've helped and connected to this dream went, yeah, we can do this. And so we find ourselves now able to offer 3 things, just 3 things out there for professional services that I think is pretty cool, and I'm super proud of it. The first one are these things called gigsters. The gig stars, you're the star of the gig, not the brand on the wall. You are, with your skills, your talent, the way you have developed your interpersonal skills, your capacity to deliver. You're the star, so you should take all the cash. Let's be honest. And what we've done there is we've created 3 models for them. One, just a free. Come into the platform, have a look around, apply for gigs as they come out, see if that's of interest to you, and go for it. But if you want a bit of extra help and you want to be, market ready, just like our old partners would do, or the HR guys, then you can enter into a really honest agreement with us. It's just a fee that allows you to buy what you need to be successful. And then we developed this really cool top-end product for those freelancers who I call the Jerry Maguires. The guys who, those who I know might be watching, we love you. They're so good and they're so skilled that they need a proper agent, a talent agent, not a recruiter, someone who understands their skills and the value they can give to the clients. And that's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience meeting some of these people, from e-learning designers to mathematicians to management consultants, all sorts of different people whose skills are genuinely in demand, and they want someone honest and ethical, and they want to work in a way that connects them directly with good quality clients. Second pillar is the B2B offering. I can't tell you, when I was on the other side hiring people, how much money we wasted with, and no offense to the recruitment industry at all, but they would sell us a person and they'd coach the person and they'd win the interview, and then we'd be 2 or 3 months or weeks, days sometimes into an engagement and go, that's not what we bought. Or we would be trying to find someone who could solve an inherent problem in our organisation. We thought the solution was to get a human to do it, a person to do it, rather than actually someone who can examine the problem and go, I reckon this is how we can fix it for you, which is, I think, is the world of consulting, more professional services. And I think the B2B model that we have now, same thing, have a look around. You guys bring the demand, so lots of free stuff for you, free support will help you get those gigs up to connect out there. But allows you to access and tap into a pretty special pool of people. We don't have we're not like some of the big global platforms where it's unlimited growth on the Gigster side or the Freelancer side. We control it just so we can reach the edges of it and you can build a deep connection with groups. We're also the ones who understand corporate procurement. I'll try not to cringe. It's hard. It's really hard. And I think that's a part of the friction that we've seen over the years that have come into being able to directly connect. We manage all of that stuff. And that's allowing, I guess, a clearer passage between these talented people to be able to work with you, and not in a body shop way. Like, it's different. The last part we have are these sort of areas for small business. And the small business are, I think they're really close to my heart. These are 1 or 2 people, very optimistic, beautiful people with lots of talent, who want to be able to sell their products and professional services to other, like sometimes bigger organisations or, smaller organisations. They don't all have to be like a British Aerospace, There could be someone with 100 staff. But what we've been able to do for we call them our little Sohos. We love them. And when I say little, like, these guys are absolutely power-packed with talent. But what we've done for them is create what we have a global list, the globalist, bit of a pun on words, but the globalist allows them to put their name up on a business directory. So pretty simple, really basic. But it allows corporates to have a look and go, I didn't know that person was there. I didn't know they did that. That's cool. I like that. Oh, they're local. Great. I can connect with them. The second thing, the Soho guys and people, freelancers who have a paid subscription, they're able to productize their services into packages. Everyone knows about packages. We hear about it. But a lot of professional service providers lead with their story, and once they've got the invitation to then present in our world, we call them gig packs. So they go, here's my package. You already like me, trust me. Here's what I've got to sell. We're doing it in reverse. We're saying, get your gig pack together, my friend. Get it together. And then stick it up on that board, just like a beautiful professional services inspired by Etsy, where someone might not even know who you are. They don't even know, like, that you're a Scorpio with Gemini rising. No, I don't know what even that means, but But what they're able to do is go, oh my God, I need someone to do this e-learning AI conversion. And you've already put it out there. So your product drags the connection to the corporate, not the other way around. We're super proud of this. We are so proud of what we've achieved. And yes, we've picked up a few gongs along the way. Yeah, we picked up a few awards, mainly for the technology side of it and also our social connection, because not satisfied with just building the company. We also stood up a really cool charity that is independent to us, and it's just doing some really heartwarming stuff. But we've been able to do some good stuff in that area as well. But the awards are recognition. We're doing all right on it. So that takes us to Jungal and you. Now, Jungle isn't for everyone. It's definitely not a catch-all. We're not here for big volumes or, we don't have private equity driving us to be able to, push for an EBITDA of whatever. We don't have that. We're a human-human connection. We do use the digital platform, but we are not anonymous. You'll get to meet the community officers. In fact, they'll probably annoy you. They're not robots. They're real people who are emailing going, hey, dudes, have you got your profile up? Hey, dudes, get your gig packs up. You've got to get it out there. But if people want to buy you, you got to make it so. And the spirit and the support those guys extend to people like you is something pretty special. It's pretty special. Lastly, values. You know, they say values, strategy, all of that culture will eat, strategy for breakfast. The value of the jungle is not in the digital platform. It's not even in the blue chip client base. It's in the power of human to human connection and your capacity to trade with a level of integrity, your skills, your knowledge, your passion, your competencies with interpersonal relationships. And that human to connection is, as you would all know, that's where the magic starts. It's not, you can't do that with AI. You can't do that with body shops. You don't have any of that. The jungle is about human to human connection every point of the way. And for as long as I get to hang out here with the amazing people, including you, I will make sure that we always uphold the idea of and the power of human connection. I hope to see you in the jungle. If you're ever in Adelaide, you can come on into my, my kitchen. It's not very clean at the moment. Pass the camera around. You'll see the dishes are actually everywhere. But anyway, let's just pretend it looks nice. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. And if you have any questions, find me on LinkedIn, shoot me an email, get in the chat. My team or myself will be on there and we might surprise you with a, hey, what are you doing? Okay, thanks.